Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back, guys, and thanks for tuning in to this episode of World of Tanks and Tactics Talk. All right, PSA, guys. We're gonna talk about a pet peeve of mine, and I know right off the bat some of you are not going to agree. So let's cage match it down in the comments. But I'm going to explain to you why it is that what happens here annoys me so badly. And unfortunately, encounter mode is where you're going to find this. So I am trying to three mark, already two marked it. Trying to three mark my ARLV 39, right? And herein lies the problem. I need as much damage, as much assist as I can get. I need to shoot a bunch, all right? We're on encounter mode. You might already kind of know what's going to happen here. I've been trying to do this for a while. You guys have watched me on stream with it a little bit of a lucky shot right there, right into his face. I'm using the big gun, which is the 105. There's a long 90 millimeter with more penetration and more accuracy. But this bad boy hits for, I want to say 320 or 330 with gold. It's one of the weird guns in the game where you actually get more damage from gold, which is terrible. But there you go. It's on this tank. Watch this bounce. Nope, that's a ground. Now we're going to bounce. He's got almost the perfect angle to me. So I'm just thinking, all right, we'll just drop a little AP share in there and get some hit. No. It goes up into the top of the mantlet, it looks like right there. Plus you're going to lose some penetration. T69 comes down. Okay, so I'm trying to get as much damage and assist and all of that as I can. And what my team does is they all run down to the cap. Now, they're probably noticing that the enemy team has most of their forces up north. And this is going to go poorly for the enemy team. RNG is really kicking me in the teeth right now. I get spotted here, but I'm just going to stand in. I need the damage. Let's hammer this guy. Boom, there we go. We get some damage, and I'm going to go ahead and back out. I'm up to 623 and 131 spotting. So we'll come up here and see what's happening. I should be dark. I took a bit of a chance right there that nobody started taking pokes at me. Bat chat's over there. And my team's on the cap, and they're capping. They're capping. There are only 6 tanks out of the game, and my team is capping. Now, I know some of the arguments. I think that went in because there was no splash behind it. I got spotted for it. Now I've got to get out of there. It does to some extent, watch this snap. It does to some extent force them to make bad plays, but that's one of our tier 8s that drove down to cap and sat on cap. And frankly, the only reason this really ends up working, and it almost doesn't, I think they actually reset us a couple times. The only reason this ends up working is because they sent so many guys up north. You can't always count on that. Well, this is what's called a low percentage play. Look at the laser beam coming through. That's pretty cool. This is what's called a low percentage play. Yes, it can work. No, it does not work as a matter of course. It usually fails miserably. And I really wish it had here, to be quite honest, as I'm trying to 3 mark. And you'll probably say, well, Guido, that's too bad. Your 3 mark is not your team's problem. They're going to get the win. And while I get that, my point in general, though, is that this is a terrible, terrible option. It's going to work here, so I am going to admit. Let's see if I can get this shot. I think I get one more. There we go. I will admit that it works. Let's see if we get to the win. And this also surprised me a little bit because just as I'm about to shoot this guy, there we go. I get the damage. I'm looking over there, and I'm thinking, what the actual heck? And it's over. It's over. I think they got a couple shots in there. At the end game, they reset us a couple times, but eventually we win because we piled 2 light tanks and a tier 8 on top of the cap. In fact, 2 of those are tier 8s. I think the LT-432 is buried down in there. Look at all the hit points that were left on the board. I'm at 2,616 with 197 assists and a silly tier 6 tank. And I think the discussion then down below obviously is going to be weighing the do you win? Do you care about Guido's 3 mark and his damage farming? Some will, some won't. I think we're going to come across the whole gamut of the opinions on this. But for me, in the tank game, I'm looking to play the percentages. And when I see someone play a low percentage, I'm glad that it worked out for them. And maybe, well, I was going to say it might be a cap. I don't know if there's any medium. I think there are some light tank cap missions. So I will give that. It is possible that those guys were on a cap mission, and right now they're high-fiving because they actually got a cap mission out of the way. I think there are some for light tanks, as I recall. But be that as it may, it is highly irritating when people rage to the cap and sit there, because they basically take themselves out of the game until such time as either the enemy team is forced to engage them or the enemy team wants to engage them, as opposed to going to some place where they can start taking out hit points of the enemy. They simply go to cap and sit there and hope for the best. Because frankly, the only reason they didn't get absolutely walloped is the rest of the team did a pretty good job of holding this northern, I gotta do this right, did a pretty good job of holding this northern area in the middle and keeping too many of them from getting down on top of those guys. So while there's an argument of great, that was great teamwork, at the same time, two of our tier 8s, two of our top tiers put us in a really bad position by driving down to the cap and sitting there like Muppets. So that's my opinion on it. Kind of a strong opinion, to be quite honest, about that. I know a lot of people will say, well, Guido, so what? How you play the game isn't how everyone plays the game. I totally get that. And I'm glad they got the win. And if they did get a cap mission, then that's fantastic. That's actually another problem in and of itself. Missions that incentivize people to play poorly like that. But really, it's a low percentage play. That's the bottom line. The absolute bottom line of that move is it was about the lowest percentage play you could have, other than to stay on the spawns, not the caps in this case. The lowest percentage play other than that would have been just everyone to sit here in this ravine. I mean, quite honestly, 2 tier 8s, top tiers in this game, going to cap is about the worst thing you can imagine. So you're going to see the amount of damage I did. I was a big part of keeping them from swarming down and crushing the guys sitting on the cap, especially in this map, because it's just so easy to shoot down from the ridgeline. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. I thought that was a good PSA. Let me know what you think. I know there's going to be people who disagree, and that's cool. Go ahead and talk about it. Cage match, off we go. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate your support of the channel, as always, very, very much. The views, the follows, all that good stuff. If you're looking for other ways to do so, down there in the description, you'll find multiple ways. That's all I've got for today, and we will see you.